I read 16 books in October. I'm going to go through them with you, tell you what I thought about them, and tell you if I think you should read them as my new book bestie. First book I read in October was Our Way by T.L. Swan. If you know me, or if you follow me at all, you know that I love T.L. Swan. However, I only gave it 3 stars. It was okay. I can't tell you, if I told you anything about it or why I didn't like it, it would be spoilers, but there was just something about it that I didn't like. It just wasn't for me, but I still love her writing, and it was okay. After Our Way by T.L. Swan, I went to The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Everyone on here was like, you have to read The Housemaid. You have to read it. You'll love it. And once again, I only gave it 3 stars. Not impressed. I don't know if thrillers are just not for me, but this is not a book that I would be like, you have to read this. I mean, it was twisty. It was just, nah. Okay, so then after that, I was like, let's go back into romance. And I went with a recommendation from one of you guys on here that was Smoky Darling by S.J. Tilly. Loved it. It takes a lot for me to give a book 5 stars, so I did give this one 4 stars, but it was so good. And if anyone asked me if they should read this book, the answer would be yes. Then, of course, after that, I did the next one, which is book 2 of 2 in the series, Latte Darling. And I think I actually liked this one better than Smoky Darling. I still only gave it 4 stars. It just wasn't a 5-star read for me, but it was incredible. I loved it. So after that, I went into A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. I actually really liked this book. It's super cute. It's like a guy is looking for a fake fiance and a girl is looking for a rich boyfriend, and they accidentally meet, and it's just super cute. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm really not even sure how I saw this book or where I saw it from, but I read The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry. 5 stars. This book was so good. So good, so heart-wrenching. I sobbed. It was so good. And anyone who's like, you know what, I need a book that's going to make me cry, here it is. Here it is. Seriously, I loved it so much. And then because I loved it so much, I was like, you know what, maybe I like the author a lot. I'm going to read this one, which is The Holidates by the same author, Brittany Cherry. Also, really liked it. It was so good. It wasn't a 5-star read, but it was really, really good. And it was super cute. And I really just think that this author is now one of my favorites. So after that, I took another one of your guys' advices and went into the Chestnut Spring series, which is by Elsie Silver. This is really big right now. And I read Flawless, which is number 1, and I gave it 3 stars. It was okay, but I was like, you know what? It was okay. I do want to see what happens next. So then I read Heartless, and I gave this one 4 stars. I loved this book. This was my favorite one. And just everything about it, like he's a single dad, she's the nanny, like it was great. I loved it. Unfortunately, then came Powerless. This is number 3 in a 5-book series. This is number 3. I gave it 2 stars. I was not a fan. And then because I was not a fan, I DNF'd the rest of the series. And then we went into Flock. So I went straight into The Ravenhood after DNFing that. Love this. Yes, I would recommend reading it. I did give it 4 stars. It was not a 5-star read for me. I would say this book, number 1 of the 3, is my favorite. Then, of course, we went to Exodus. I would say this is probably my least favorite of the trio. And then we went to Finish Line, which is the third of the 3 books. And I would say this is the only reason why I even liked the main male character. Up until then, I just wasn't a fan of him, which is why I think I didn't like the second book. If you know, you know. So directly after the Ravenhood trilogy, I went into the Devil's Night series and Corrupt. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. However, after that, I went into book 2 of the Devil's Night series, which is Hideaway by Penelope Douglas, and I gave it 3 stars. I was not impressed. And then the third book, it's a 4-book series. This was number 2, and the third book was about characters that I didn't want to read about. So I DNF'd the series. And then last but not least, to end my month on a high note, I ended it with Say You Swear by Megan Brandy, and she has a 5-star rating because it was probably one of the best books I've ever read. I would say the main male character is my number 1 book boyfriend, like book husband. He takes the cake for any book boyfriends I have read about to this date. I love him, and I love this book so much, and everyone should read this, but be prepared to cry.